Definitely cracked the inside, and this is definitely cracked on the outside. So
what have I done?
today I have decided to install the windshield. Here's the game plan. The goal is to get a piece of rope, such as this. Maybe they require something smaller. We'll see if that works or not. So yeah, get some rope. And here in this gasket that I've wrapped around nicely around this windshield is a loop that goes around the metal loop of where the windshield goes in the truck. Get this piece of rope, wrap tightly in here, all around the perimeter of the windshield. Boop. And then we shove it in the car, pull the rope out, and it'll pop in. Perfect. This is super easy. What could go wrong? Nothing. Alright, so let's start with gently tearing that lovely tape off. Okay, free my groove out. Otherwise, we will not be able to get this rope in here. Bear with me, this might be a long process. So. Gently. Gently. The temperature is pretty low today, so I'm going to put on my gloves because it's cold. So you really just want the rope in this canal right here. Make sure it's in there pretty tight. That's about it. The only real trick for installing the gasket on the windshield itself is literally just painter's tape. Just hold something to hold the gasket as you wrap it around the perimeter of the windshield. The top lining here, right above, between the roof and the windshield, was completely rusted out on this truck, so had to basically repair all of that. I mean, the old gasket was ancient anyway and falling apart, so it probably needed to be replaced. Another recommendation, get a friend to help, because I don't think you're supposed to do this by yourself. We'll try it, but it doesn't work out. I'll have to call someone. Yeah. I have successfully made a colossal mistake. My windshield is now cracked all the way like this. Here, I can do one of these. Whoop. That's the biggest crack. It started off a little bit smaller, but I kept trying to install and see if I could, keep pushing things in. And that didn't really work. I just created more cracks. So I think this is a double pane, so that's just on the inside, but still. the windshield was originally bubbling everywhere, like this. This goes all around the perimeter. I don't know if that may have led to a cause. I also think that this gasket, besides the temperature being extremely cold for rubber, I don't think this gasket really fits very well. I got a pretty cheap one. Okay, since that went so well, we're going to switch to gasket installation. I have gaskets, and I can install them. I painted this head cover a couple months ago, but I never changed the gasket out. It's just as is. Replace it with a new GoPro. Okay. Just gonna hide the engine bay. It can fit on the rail without an issue, and it'll keep it away from the wind. New gasket. So I bought this gasket. I don't remember which website. I think you can find it anywhere. Amazon, others. Generally, they're not very expensive. And this one was like $30. That's that one. Let's see. That's backwards. I think this follows the trend of. There's a lip here, cut out like this, and I'm pretty sure that follows the trend of the head cover. Similar lip right here. I don't want to tilt the head cover too much because we still have bolts in there. I think this one right here is not okay. It's making a little bit of contact with the valve spring. Just enough to go around the spring, and if it makes contact, I don't know, whatever. Should where's my washer? Washer. I dropped my washer. Don't know where it went. It's okay. Found another one in my box of washers. By box of washers, I mean table of random assortment of nothing. All right. Okay, perfect. I'm going to try to install the intake and exhaust manifolds. However, before I do that, I need to install the oil filter housing because the lines come out of there, here, and then go into the filter housing, and then come back down to there, under my finger, into the hole there. So getting to that will be really, really difficult after I install the manifold, so I'm going to have to do that right now first. So I'll start with that. Here's my oil filter housing. It takes a C4 Fran filter. I installed the line on the bottom of the filter, but the bottom screw doesn't rotate on this hose. The input line to the filter does have a spinning end. I'm going to install a copper crush washer on this too. Definitely make sure that it doesn't, double make sure that it doesn't leak. I hope thread locker doesn't care what temperature it is. That's all, because it's cold. Let's get it on nicely. Okay. Now that works a lot better. Wow. Now to get the other side. Go. Other side of the hose. Okay. Alright, that's pretty tight. So let's do something like this on the manifold, sort of. Well, this wraps around the manifold. The intake pipes. Here. So, that is, of course, the wrong size, which is a surprise to be sure. So the T-fitting I just pulled out is, for some reason, 1/8 inch to the engine, 1/8 inch to the oil pressure, and I think this is 3/16, which, although I look at it, just looks a little bit mangled, so maybe the reason it doesn't fit is because it's broken. This right here is broken. Maybe bent, squished, or is that just now when I did this? I don't know. Yeah, it definitely does not feel right. I have an 1/8" barb here that I'm just playing around with, trying to make this fit properly. And that doesn't, I don't know. I mean, there's definitely a lot of oil leakage around this area, so maybe this is an 1/8", or it's just bent out of shape. Anyway. I could not find an identical T with both 1/8" inputs, so I have to come up with something else. So I have an 1/8" T, but it's all inputs, and I have a 1/8" through, which I'm going to attach this, and put that into the block, like that, and then attach the outside hoses. Good. Okay, let's put this back. 1/2". 9/16. Okay. 9/16. A little pressure gauge back in. Okay, finally, intake manifold and exhaust manifold. They're, in this case, one piece because they both have rusted together, and I don't really feel like breaking them apart quite yet. So I just painted the whole unit together in one piece, and so now it is one solid unit, including exhaust pipe. These are nicely rust welded together too. I have gaskets. I'm going to start off with popping these bolts off and organizing them in a way where I don't lose them, because they hold both the exhaust and the intake. All right. Keeps good. Okay. Gaskets. Okay. Good. Take the tape off as soon as I start the bolts, because that will hold it in place well enough. Okay. Okay. Duct it. All right, last piece of this puzzle will be to, so here's the throttle control. Here's the rod that comes from the gas pedal, and it hits this rod up and down, which controls the carburetor. So this I'm going to have to thread through in between the pipes. We'll see. I don't know if I think I can just do that after, but you know, I don't remember exactly how it went. Okay. One. All right. Off camera, I was able to finish all this up. So the trick to this was putting in the intake alignment sleeves onto the block, and then getting into the engine bay, standing right here on this rail, and shoving it in place, and then yeah, that was pretty much it. Those alignment sleeves help hold the gaskets in. Also, the bolts themselves can be put in into the gaskets, not tightened obviously, but you can put them in preemptively before even putting in the manifolds, because the manifolds can slide under and be placed on these alignment pins and be held in there, and then the bolts could be tightened and to pull this all together. Yeah, there's no other holes in the manifolds, so it's just aligning things properly and tightening down the bolts. So another thing to remember, very important, is the throttle linkage. This linkage right here. Sleeve the, or you have to thread this in between the intake and exhaust manifold. Make sure to do that while you're installing the manifold, not after you install the manifold. Because once you install the manifold, getting that in is really annoying, because there's the linkage that it connects to on the block is underneath here, and getting in there from the top end or bottom is really hard. So the best way to do it is before you actually finish installing the manifold. I didn't do that. Then mounting the filter was really easy. The filter housing, these U-bolts get bolted on. You can't really get into here with anything but a box wrench. Socket won't fit, so unless you have one of those ratchety wrenches, this is going to take a while, but that's the way to do it. Here we are. So next step will be other disasters. Done. Until tomorrow, basically. And then there's a lot more work after that. So, yeah, done.